Oh, What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joined today my co-hosts, JoJo and James.
Hello.
The asshole. Okay, I had to finish that off. Had to build the suspense there a little bit. Just a little bit. So yeah. Not gonna lie, guys. I didn't really have a lot of topics this week. It's been a slow week with shit, man. Like, we covered State of Play. I don't know. I guess something to kind of talk about, you know, for those of you who are also Darkstar members, saw some videos come out that I was on recently where we did the Pokemon stuff, and I know you like Pokemon, JoJo. And, right?
Oh, yeah. What did you do? What
so
Pokemon
we watched
stuff?
the Pokemon trailers for the new ones.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yes,
I used to
those.
be a huge Pokemon fan. And I used to be like one of those kids that got taken up to Toys R Us on the weekends where they did the Pokemon card battles and shit, like right there in the store, like all that shit. Yeah. So, you know, where there was like, you know, 10, 40-year-old guys playing with like 6, 8-year-old kids, you know, and we're just getting shit on.
That is what we call a pedophile.
No, I mean, possibly. But anyways, I'm not putting labels. I'm just saying we were all there to play fucking Pokemon. So, yeah, I used to do all that and everything else, and then I found Yu-Gi-Oh, and I never turned back. Like, it was like once I found Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid, that was it. I made the switch, and that was it.
Did a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm. I tried Magic.
Yeah, I tried to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh briefly. Did you? Not a fan?
I would say I'm not a fan. I don't know if the person that was teaching me, which is not even a person I even fucking talk to anymore at this point. I can't even remember the last time I talked to that person. But fucking, I don't know if they knew what they were doing or they just made the game seem a lot more complicated than it actually is. I know the game is complicated. I know a lot of factors go into it. But I definitely think that they made... It was like sitting down to learn a game and like the person just explaining it just sucked all the fucking fun completely out of the game. Like, I had no will to play Magic. I was just like...
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, like, Yu-Gi-Oh's easy. That's easy to learn. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've made my own card games. Like, because I used to have this, like, card game builder application on my computer a very long time ago. And I actually made, like, a Marvel card game that was Yu-Gi-Oh based. And, like, I actually went and grabbed pictures and put the pictures on the card and gave them their, like, little lore and, like, actual stuff as attacks and shit that worked with their actual powers and shit that they use in the game. Or not in the game, but in the movies and the comics and shit. Yeah. I went into it, dude. Like, I had expansion packs. I had all kinds of shit. Like, the Norse expansion pack and shit like that. Like, I went all into it, dude. I spent so much time on something that I don't even think I have access to anymore at this point. So, one of those things, you know?
Yeah.
And something I got big into not that long ago was the Game of Thrones living card game. That was a lot of fucking fun, too. That shit was interesting. They did a really good job of making the decks thrive off of what the houses are known for. So the Starks with the wolves and shit, known for being like aggressive and shit like that. Like, their whole thing was just built off of like family and aggressiveness and shit. The Lannisters were built the way where like the more money they had stored up, the more powerful they were. The weirdest deck was the fucking Martells. They got stronger as they lost the game. So the more they started to lose, the more they were able to access other cards and then come back and win in the end. It was fucking nuts, dude. Yeah, I got like fucking heavy into that game. But Yu-Gi-Oh's just always been the one that stuck out. I still have like all my main Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I still have all my cards. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh stuck out. It's made it through the years. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't play it anymore actively or anything like that. I'm trying to think like...
I mean, those cards got complicated in a way that, like, they have just paragraphs of text and stuff. Because they put out a mobile game, so I checked it out. It was a lot.
I want to say the era I got out on, it was the last deck I bought, was whenever they started to do the synchros and the XYZs. That was whenever I finally got out.
That's beyond my understanding.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, the Synchros and the XYZ summons were the last ones, because it was like Synchros, what you would do is that like it was built on getting a specific amount of cards and throwing them away that all would be able to summon something directly out of your hand or your deck, and it would be a bigger monster. To where the XYZs were more about summoning smaller, stronger monsters, and then all the XYZs would go onto the monster, and it would get that many lives per each one of those cards. Like it was weird, dude. It was weird, but yeah. So those were definitely the last deck I bought, because I like the Synchros a lot more. Like it was actually called a junk deck, is what it was called, and all the monsters were called junk. So it was like Junk Synchron and Junk Destroyer and so on and so forth. So yeah, so it's called the junk deck, and I love that one. That was like my favorite one. But yeah, no, I definitely got like huge into Yu-Gi-Oh. I think one of my favorite decks was my Demon deck, and I had this one monster who gained 300. So like 3 of them worked the same way. I had one monster that his ability was I could sacrifice a monster, and he would gain 300 for me sacrificing a monster every time I did it. And then I had another monster that anytime I took that had an ability. No. Scratch that. Okay, so the first monster was just if whenever he summoned, he got 300 per monster on the field. The second one had the ability for me to throw away monsters. And for each monster that I sacrificed, he got 300. And then the third one, which was my big boy, that was the main one. And all these monsters started with 0 health, 0 defense. Or 0 attack, 0 defense. Was the big boy. His ability was that whenever I summoned him, I got to go through my deck and throw away as many monster cards as I had. And then he got 300 for each one of those. And by throw away, I mean like, I'm sorry, not my deck, my graveyard. Removed from play. Every card that I removed from play that was a monster card, he got 300. So the entire time, these other 2 monsters were just killing everything on my fucking field, and the other person would think that they're winning. They're like, I mean, I have 2 strong monsters I'm trying to kill, but he can't like do anything because he just keeps hitting defense, and he's out of moves. Not knowing that this one dude's about to come out and he's going to be unstoppable. So almost every time I brought him out, the dude was like at like fucking 7,000 health. And then of course I have all my fucking harpies, or feather duster and shit like that. So anytime a trap card or a magic card pops up to kill him, I'm like, bam, done. Just completely out of there. So yeah, I had that was probably one of my favorites. I had a lot of people that hated that fucking deck. That was one of my favorites for sure. But yeah, so Pokemon. So first off, Pokemon Snap is a terrible game. By the way, it's a terrible game. I don't know why people like that. Pokemon Snap is a terrible game.
It's like 40 minutes. It's like an okay time for an hour, and then
The fact that they're making another one is so stupid. It's so fucking stupid, dude. I mean, you literally see
long to make another one.
No, like you literally see these fucking kids. You literally see these fucking kids who are out here feeding apples to monsters that are thousands times bigger than they are, and would literally stomp them out in a fucking second. But they're so goddamn docile and so fucking just broken down that they're just sitting here eating fucking apples from these kids. And you're not even feeding them to them. You're fucking throwing apples at them. It's like, here, bitch, eat your lunch. Like, it's so fucking dumb, dude. Oh my god.
You cannot describe real logic to Pokemon. Why start at Snap when we're already capturing and subjugating these gigantic dragons as children?
Oh man,
it falls apart.
It's fucking hilarious, man. We were sitting there watching that, and I was cracking so many jokes. One of my favorite ones was I was like, I get it, dude. I get why they made Snap. This is like all the rejects that couldn't become actual Pokemon masters. Like the ones that just sucked at it. They get to go and take pictures of Pokemon. It's like, so you sucked at catching your own, huh? Well, here you go. You still get the Pokemon experience. Oh my gosh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Look at a Magikarp.
And then fucking Tony was trying to convince me. He's like, dude, you're missing out. Like, it would be stuff of like, you gotta put the apple down and they'll walk closer to you, and then they'll eat the apple, and then you put another one down and they'll walk closer to you, and like there'd be secrets where like you start out on one side of the map and bring them all the way to the other side of the map, and it would unlock a secret for getting them all the way over there. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, like having a Bulbasaur follow you, and then like opening the door and having the Bulbasaur come through the door and have to hold the door open for him and stuff like that. I'm like, Yeah, dude, totally sounded like I was fucking missing out. Damn it, I didn't get to hold the door open for a Bulbasaur.
Throw an apple at a Charmander or whatever, and then it falls into a volcano, and then a Charizard comes out later. Or something. That was a thing in Pokemon Snap. It's, yeah.
Yeah, no. But...
It's not that deep, but it's...
I can't remember the names. Maybe was it Diamond? I don't know. It was one of them. But because he asked me what do I remember getting to, and I know I played Red, Blue, and Yellow, and then I'm pretty sure it was the one after that is when I stopped playing. I still watched Pokemon for a while and collected cards, but I stopped playing the games.
What was the last system that you were playing on?
It was handheld. It was like old school handheld. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
So like Game Boy Color or Game Boy
But I know
Advance?
the last Pokemon that I actually fucked with, which to this day is still kind of like my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite, even though I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan, if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be like, oh my god, I was just thinking his name. I can't think of the fucking name now. I know his ultimate form is Typhlosion. Cyndaquil.
Oh, Cyndaquil.
Yeah,
that's Gold and Silver. That's
Yeah, there you go, Gold and Silver. So yeah, that's where I stopped. So.
Oh really?
But this new one that's coming out, which I think it's taking place in like the Far East or something like that. It's supposed to be open world. I think it's called like Refined Diamond or something like that. I don't know. But either way.
So it's a remake of the fourth games. So it takes place in the same world as the fourth.
But either way, it showed Cyndaquil in the trailer, and I was like, you know what? I might pick up a Pokemon game. It's been a long time. I think doing an open world Pokemon like that, I think I could get into Pokemon. I just don't know how far I would get into with like trying to like do shinies and all this other shit. Like I don't know if I get that deep into it. But because like Tony said, like in reality, the Pokemon games themselves are not hard if you're just going for the story of it. Like those are actually very easy to beat. It's more whenever you're trying to do all this extra shit is where the difficulty kicks in with like the shinies and all the fucking battles and stuff like that. Like that's different. So like I said, I don't know, because I am a bigger fan of like when games are fucking hard versus playing like very easy games, running through it, and then just being done.
I mean, Pokemon is definitely not that difficult.
Not to mention that Pokemon is like $60, so. You know, it's like if I'm buying a $60 game, it's one of those things where I want to get my money's worth out of it, you know? Because I
played 90 hours of that Pokemon game I've gotten.
Yeah, because I was like this close to picking up Sword. Like, I was that close. I walked past it multiple times at Best Buy, and I was like, I should just get it. Jump on the Pokemon train just once. I haven't done it in a long time, just to see if, like, maybe I could get into it. I almost picked it up, and then I didn't. And it was like... Then Animal Crossing came out, and then I was like stuck between: do I get Pokemon? Do I get Animal Crossing? Do I get Pokemon? And then I just didn't get both. I just like, fuck it. I didn't get either one of them. So, because I like the original Animal Crossing, I played the fuck out of Animal Crossing, dude. Like the first one on GameCube, I played the fuck out of Animal Crossing. Holy shit! The little Kappa guy was my favorite. He was so cool. He took you to that fucking island. Ugh, that island was dope as shit. And then I had, like, my house, my entire, like, first floor you walk in on had all the little, the fire hydrant guys, the special collectibles.
Gyroids.
Yeah, all the gyroids.
Hell yes. Gyroids.
I had all those. And then, my entire bottom floor was nothing but tables lined all the way across the wall, and then, like, a U of tables in the middle. And it was all the fucking NES systems that you could collect in the game. So I had all those down there too. So I'd go down there and play like original Donkey Kong and shit. So yeah, it was like once I finished everything that I could do in Animal Crossing, it was like now I have all this shit I could do. So yeah, Animal Crossing was the shit, dude. Well, I think Animal Crossing could lead to some weird fetishes, you know. Like they really try to push these like romantic relationships with these animal characters, and it's just kind of like a weird situation.
They don't get anything. There's no real implication of that. You're a child. The character is a child, and all these animals are like children, I think. or they don't talk about adult topics in any way. They're just like, I like chairs. Here's a shirt. You know, it's not.
I like chairs. I'd like the chair better if you were naked on it.
That is not where it goes.
Oh, shit. Dude, I kid you not. So this is great. So a lot of people know that obviously my family plays games and stuff like that. And you know, we've had content where my mom's been part of it. My grandma played Animal Crossing.
Wow.
And she lived on my save. So, you know, like if you had like multiple people on your save, it was all your houses together in that little cul-de-sac or whatever. And if you went to go into their house, they could have it to where it would have a message that popped up if they didn't want you going into their house. And her message was, if the house is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. That's my grandma for you. It's 100% my grandma for you. Oh, man. Her and my grandpa used to, like, fucking just grab each other and make out in front of, like, me and my friends. And they call it Sasquatch love is what my friends started calling it. They're like, oh, my God. Oh, it's so gross. And then I started calling it Sasquatch love. And so then they just jumped up on... Dude, my grandparents are fucking awesome. They're fucking awesome. So, yeah, they would do shit like that all the time. It was crazy. It was crazy. We had this fucking TV, dude. Oh, my gosh. So my grandpa used to crack me up. He was the kind of guy where, like, he didn't really understand the whole video game craze. He just didn't get it, which is fine. I mean, grew up, was in the military, so on and so forth. He just didn't get it. And he would do this shit that would piss me off all the time where, like, because I lived with them for a short little while, and they only had a one-bedroom apartment, so I slept out on the couch. And he'd wake me up 5 o'clock every morning. So he'd come out, watch country music TV. So we'd be watching country music TV until fucking God knows when. And so it would get to the point where, like, he'd get tired and he'd go take his nap. Because my grandpa, at this point, wasn't working due to disabilities and stuff. So he would go take his nap and he'd leave the TV on and be watching some show. So, like, all my shows that I watch, like, that are, like, more of that, like, soap opera. Not soap opera, but, you know, kind of like... Everybody Loves Raymond and shit like that. Like, all because of my grandpa. Like, I watched all that shit growing up. King of Queens. Yeah, King of Queens, shit like that. Like, that was all that shit my grandpa watched. So, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never seen these shows. So, he would do the shit where he would leave the TV on and he would go into his room and lay down. And then I'm like, oh, cool. So then I'll turn on my original Xbox, loading up Halo 1, getting ready to fucking play. And I'd hear him from the bedroom go, hey, I was listening to that. I don't give a fuck what you was doing. You're not in here anymore. You don't get to control the TV. You went to go to sleep. I don't give a shit. So me and him would argue over the TV a lot. So we were driving down the street and these people were bringing this TV out. And the TV was somewhat broken. It wasn't 100% broken, but it just had a thing where, like, sometimes it just wouldn't cut on. And you just gave it a little while and then it would cut on later. And it was huge. It was like one of those big screen TVs, but it was like on wheels. And it was like one of those old box TVs. Like, this was like nothing new at all. So it's something like you would see in like a fucking, you know, like 1980s downstairs theater room type situation. So we wheel this big ass. I get my best friend over. Me and him wheel this fucking big ass TV into my grandparents' apartment. And put it right in front of the couch. Like, there was no room for this thing, but it's just, like, right in front of the whole left side of the couch. But my grandparents are okay with it. They're like, whatever, he's a kid, fuck it, you know, and that way he's got his TV, he can keep the volume at 0, Grandpa can still watch his shit. Good to go. So, when you're a kid and you have an interest in things like technology and shit like that, you do try to play Mr. I can just fix anything. Because if I take it apart, I'll obviously, with 0 experience and 0 knowledge, be able to figure out what's wrong with it, right? Yeah. So I did that. Started taking his TV apart, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. My dad was an electrician. He's brought me on plenty of jobs. I knew the safety hazards of, you know, how to deal with electricity. Had the thing unplugged, whatever. One of the issues with this TV is that it had a weird issue of storing up energy in the little transformer box that it had separately all the way at the bottom. So even though it was unplugged, it still had power for probably like a solid hour after it was unplugged, because there was a issue in the actual I don't know. My grandpa was trying to explain it to me. I can't remember. But either way, it was not completely off at that point, basically. So because it was one of those TVs where like, you know, like you turn it off and the whole tube has to like cool down and shit. Like it was like one of those, like you literally taking the back off this TV and seeing like the actual TV itself, not just the outside box, looks like one of those like tube TVs from Fallout, like one of those fucking things. Yeah. So it has basically where the electricity runs through the cord into the actual screen itself. The little plunger that it has with the two prongs that feeds the electricity through, I was trying to pull that off. So that way I could see if like maybe I just need to clean it and stuff like that, you know, seeing how old it is on the inside, maybe just clean it out. It's going to help it. You know, once again, I'm a kid. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm grabbing this and I'm pulling. I'm like, man, dude, like I felt it click when I pushed it in. I know it's not being held on by these prongs. Why the fuck is it not coming out? Is it like rusted onto that or what? So I'm pulling. I'm like, what the fuck? So I turn my head on, look, it's not connected at all. It's being held by electricity at that point. And so that snap happens and that shock comes through me and I flew into the fucking wall. Like I hit the wall hard. And my grandpa was watching this. He picks me up and he puts me on the couch, and I mean, my heart is running 1,000 miles a fucking minute, dude. Like, I had a surge go completely through me. And after that, my grandma was like, yeah, TV's gone. TV's gone. Like, that's all it said. My grandma was like, TV's gone. I was like, no, I can fix it. She's all like, obviously, you can fix it. You've proven that tonight. So, TV was trashed after that. So, oh, man. That shit cracked me up, though. Like today, to think about it, it's like literally anything could have happened, dude. Like, but it was just like I said, that current was just still going, and it just held it there, man. Just fucking held it there. And as soon as I saw it, it was like fucking everything just happened at the right moment, and it fucking popped, flipped me into the wall, and man, did that shit fucking hurt, dude.
You know, that story explains so much now.
Oh man.
Wow.
So yeah, it was fucking nuts, dude. It was nuts. Because like I said, I was trying to be safe. I was doing all the stuff that I needed to do and everything else. I mean, I've worked on plenty of like house jobs with my dad and stuff like that. Like when my aunt got her house, me and him went over there, and he'd have me help him with all the electrical work on his house and shit like that. And yeah, I've done it before. My dad's been an electrician his whole life. So, but it happened, man. Try to step outside your bounds, dude. Get fucked up sometimes. But is what it is. It's a great story to talk about later, and then, you know, when my kid grows up, I can be like, well, if there's something you don't know how to do, don't just try to jump in and do it, because it could
leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah.
It could hurt you.
Don't.
Well.
Oh, shit.
Wow, shit.
Yeah.
I would not.
Got me pretty fucking good.
Open things.
But yeah, man, I miss that TV though. We used to fucking play so many good fucking goddamn games on that. Like Gears of War. Gears of War is so good when it came out. The first one. I miss it. I feel like the one
that was right. Yeah.
Judge it.
That series didn't click for me until the third one.
Really?
Well, I mean, like the first one, I had a fine time playing the first one, and then I got the second one. Like, that was okay. I'll get this. It's probably okay. And yeah, but like the third one was like, it felt less dumb, I guess. But like, I played single player stuff mostly, right? So like the story and the characters were so fucking stupid all the time in the first couple games. Just like these massive meat dummies who say dumb shit all the time. And like so the third one had like some amount of making me care about the characters a little bit, which was helpful. And then I mean, the gameplay is awesome. Like totally, it's fun, and I played a bunch of it online and shit. And now I like the series a whole lot. I have all of them.
That's fair.
I don't know. There's like that guy, like in the second one, there's a guy like Ty who was like, I don't know, he's supposed to be Native American or something.
And it's Samoan. Like, Samoan.
Yes, okay, Samoan, sure. And so he's like,
that was Dylan's
there's some part where we're going dark, and like we should have a flashlight or something. And then he goes, might beats light. And it's like, no, shut up, get a flashlight, dumbass. It's like, why are you? And then the best one is you're on a helicopter or something, and it's like one of them, probably Marcus or Baird, says like, there's a shitload of locusts down there, and the other guy goes, more like 10 shitloads, which is what is it? Shitload's not a metric of measurement, man. You can't have 10. You know, just shitload is just why? I don't know. It's my favorite line. Like, it's fun and dumb. That series is fun and dumb.
Yeah, I was addicted as fuck to the first one. I absolutely fucking loved it. It was such a good game, and then it's like as it went on, I lost interest. I lost complete fucking interest, unfortunately.
It was such a good game until it wasn't.
There you go, perfect. Mm-hmm.
I think 16-year-old me or whatever was more pretentious than adult me, where it's like I was held up more by like characters seeming dumb and like dialogue and shit. I don't know. Now I revel in it.
Yeah, that's
Great.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy the game. I think it's good. The first one for sure. I mean that was probably like my best introduction to like Xbox Live as far as like multiplayer lobbies and shit go.
Yeah,
and that's back like whenever I figured out like how dangerous Xbox lobbies were with like glitching and cheating and shit like that and hacking and stuff because like I just really didn't think that was a thing. And then it took a couple matches of seeing motherfuckers like crab walk around where their fucking hitbox is like all the way below them and their fucking character looks like a crab moving back and forth, and even though they're like in the duck position they're still moving. It was weird, dude. That was a weird fucking game. I'll never forget my first introduction to cheating on Halo. It was Halo 3?
3.
I think so.
Oh, I called it.
It was 3 or 2. So I played Halo 2's multiplayer as well because that's the first time they ever had online multiplayer. But I think it was 3. And we were on the fucking Canyon one, the big one that everybody fucking loves. And there was
like
this
Blood
dude.
Gulch? Or...
Yeah, Blood Gulch. There you go. Yeah. And there was this dude, and he had a fucking...
Oh, yeah.
He had the fucking plasma pistol, what we like to call the pea shooter. And he was charging it up, and I was standing next to him. And he was talking. He's all like, whatever you do, don't walk out onto the field. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, check this out. And like the color changed from green to red on the gun. And then he shot it in the air, and it just rained plasma grenades. I was like, what the fuck is this? I had no idea how he did it. I did it. I was like, what the fuck is this nonsense? He's like, yeah, check it out. I was like, it's just raining plasma grenades. I was like, oh my god. So, and then you just see people dying left and fucking right because there's fucking plasma grenades raining from the fucking sky. And I know for sure 3 is the one time I got shot by a fucking tank. And by what I mean by that is I got shot by a guy who had a fucking plasma pistol who charged it up, and it shot out a fucking wraith at me. Like the wraith came flying at me, hit me, and then just stayed there. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And my cousin was there for that one. He's like, bro, he just shot a vehicle at you. Like, this dude is on a whole nother level of, like, better than we are. Because he's so good, he's shooting vehicles out of his fucking gun. And I was like, apparently, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Oh my. Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. That's why whenever you get into games today, like, I like being able to see death cams. Because, like, we've recently started playing PUBG again just to fucking do it. And
crash game, don't do it.
And he every time we get in there, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I feel like the guy was cheating, but now you have death cam, so now you can see. And so I know there's no way this is ever going to happen, but if the person who made PUBG is watching this, your system of how to deal with hackers is the worst system in the fucking world. If you get caught hacking, they ban it to where you can only play in casual. You can't play ranked. So now anybody who's new coming to your game is put into a cesspool of bots because they have to fill the lobbies and cheaters.
Yeah.
So either you're bored because you're just running around killing bots all day, and then you actually run into a real team and they just shit on you because they're cheating. And there's no penalty for cheating in casual. Because what are they going to do? They're just going to keep you in casual. So it's the worst system in the fucking world. And there's so many cheaters in casual. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, we'll literally watch death cams, and it will be guys who are like fucking 2 blocks away from us who literally will be like off looking at something, and all of a sudden just auto snap to our head through like 3 buildings, and then their gun will just follow us the entire way until it can finally see us, and then pop, and we die instantly. It's fucking nuts, dude. It's nuts. I'm like, why, dude? Like, why? What? I don't get this day and age. What is the fun in cheating? I don't fucking get it, dude. I don't get it. There's no skill involved. So you're not. You might think you're a badass because you have these fucking fake numbers to fucking pump up your fucking piece of shit ego. But like at the end of the day, you didn't do anything. Like I can't imagine getting off of a game and be like, man, dude, I got fucking 40 kills that game. I'm a fucking god. That's what everybody else thinks. Yeah, sure. But then deep inside your head, you're all like, yeah, I cheated to get literally all 40 of those fucking kills, though. Like, how do you fucking... Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't know.
There's a bunch of other cheaters in there, and now it's an arms race to see who can cheat the best.
I guess, dude.
I don't know. Yeah.
I've always had too much pride to do that shit. Like, I'm not too much pride, dude. Because I'm the kind of guy where, like, for instance, Zelda and Final Fantasy are the only games that qualify for this. But, like, Zelda for sure was the first one because I didn't get into Final Fantasy first. It was Zelda grabbed my interest first because it was a lot easier to jump into at a younger age. But, like, I will not look at a walkthrough. I have to beat a Zelda game from start to finish by myself. After that, if I want to look up like extra shit, sure, I can do that for that. But the actual main story from start to finish, I have to beat it without looking at a walkthrough. And man, dude, trust me, there were times like Twilight Princess Water Temple. There were fucking times where I wanted to be like, I just wanted just game facts this shit right quick, like really wanted to, because it's like I tried I hate the Water Temple. I hate the water. I told Kelsey. That is known amongst the community as the Headache Temple. Everybody hates the fucking Water Temple. There's always some stupid current bullshit you have to do, and everybody hates it. And I was like, and you would think a Majora's Mask, where you can put on a mask and become a goddamn Zora, where you can move through the water easily, that would make that temple like, you know, a little bit less, you know, of a pain in the ass, but it doesn't. It doesn't. No, they just added other shit in there to make it even fucking harder on you. I was like, the fucking Water Temple, man. Every goddamn game, I fucking hate it. Every time. I
feel like Twilight Princess is the least bad one.
I don't know, dude. To be fair, Twilight Princess was the first game I ever, like, I would say speedrun, but for some reason to me, it was really important to beat that within a 24-hour span. So I literally like got on it and I played it all the way through the night until like the next morning. My mom was getting up for work and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I just beat Twilight Princess." She's like, "I just bought that for you yesterday." And I was like, "Yeah, I just beat it." Like, I don't know why. I was just like, I gotta beat this like now. And I literally put it in and didn't stop playing until I was done.
Wow.
Yeah. So every time I go to play a new Zelda game, one of the must-haves is every time I go to sit down, I grab a bottle of Advil because I know sooner or later I'm going to get to that Water Temple and I'm going to have a fucking headache by the time I get done with that motherfucker, dude. Every fucking time. Oh, man. I hate that fucking shit, dude. Ugh. Oh, well. It is what it is. And that's what we're literally our next DFU episode is discussing the Majora's Mask Water Temple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We just got through explaining how now that you're a Goron, you can go get the power keg to blow up the rock in front of Romani Ranch and go get Epona and save all the cows from the alien invasion that happens at night. Yeah, I was like, this is where Zelda kind of took a weird turn for a second. It was out of nowhere, just like, hey, there's an alien invasion. And it's like, okay, this is fucking Japan's getting into conspiracy theories now. It's like, and they come and they adopt the cows. We gotta stop that. I'm just like, all right, sweet. I just like how she's like, you can have your horse if you help me. It's like, it's my fucking horse. Oh man, it's nuts, dude. I love Zelda though. Zelda's such a fucking great series. I haven't played a single one that I walked away from and I was like, eh. So I've played them all. I'm ready for Breath of the Wild.
Not even like you played Spirit Tracks and you're like...
I played every single Zelda. And I liked it at least to an extent. Like I've never said... That's what I'm saying. Like I've never played a terrible Zelda game. There obviously is a ranking system for sure. And I can tell you right now, all the handhelds are on the lower end of the spectrum for me, besides Minish Cap. Minish Cap was really good. Minish Cap gets props.
Even Link's Awakening is great. Well, actually, I mean, all of them are pretty good.
Once again, Link's Awakening was originally a console game that got redone. right? That's what we're talking about?
No. What? Link's Awakening is a Game Boy one.
What am I thinking? I'm thinking Link to the Past.
It's like...
Am I thinking Link? What's the one I just got
Link to the Past and then Link's Awakening.
What's the one?
They just redid the Game Boy game Link's Awakening.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, Switch is technically a console. But, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, Link's Awakening is up there. That one was a really, really good one. I always like that one because I like to listen to... So, for instance, and Kelsey, if you're listening, fucking tune out right here. Spoiler alert. But I like listening to the dark theories of Zelda, where it's like Link is like, like the worst person in the world. And it's like, if you think about the actual dark theory behind Link's Awakening, it's like this whole world, all these people exist until this well wakes up. And you have a chance to wake him up so you can go home, or let all this just exist and just stay here. And it's like Link wiped out an entire civilization, entire world, just so he could go home.
Yeah, there's something like subconsciously the windfish didn't want to be asleep or something, which is why there's that stuff to wake him up or something. I don't know, but yeah,
I like that one, dude. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, we're going over a lot of the theories after each game about the certain games. Like for Ocarina, we didn't necessarily go into any theories about Ocarina, but it was more theories about how, with the different timelines, how different Links could actually not even just be necessarily reincarnations, but possibly children of the Link as well. Like, for instance, Twilight immediately calls out that there's a chance that the person you were fighting at the very beginning that was showing you the tutorial of how to use your sword and shit, the skeleton, was like the future Link, or the Link from the past,
right?
Showing you, because he had gave up the whole I'm being hero thing, became like a soldier, and then died in the fucking Hylian army in the Hylian Wars, and then he was teaching his shrinks to the exactly. So stuff like that. But for Majora's Mask, the one I want to mainly focus on after we get through is the fact that Majora's Mask, and she knows about this one because I kind of wanted to tell her a little bit about it before and then see if she could point it out as we're going through. But the fact of Majora's Mask being directly linked to the 5 stages of grief, and the fact that Link Link is actually dead, and this is him coming to terms with the fact that he's actually dead. So, and stuff like that, or the fact that it's like Navi's dead and Link's trying to, like I said, grieve with her death and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think this could be it. Because Majora's Mask is so far up there for, like, one of my tops. Like, I love Majora's Mask. Like, even to the villain. Like, fucking Majora was such an... Like, he's probably within my top 3 of villains. Probably be Sephiroth, Kefka, and then Majora. Like, literally. Boom, boom, boom. So... Yeah, because Majora was such a fucking beast, dude. Like, I loved his laugh. Like, everything about the character I thought was done extremely fucking well. Like, he was such a great character. That's why whenever they made that animated opening, that fan-made animated opening about Majora, where they were trying to show Nintendo, like, hey, if you made an animated Link movie, people would fucking watch it. It just needs to look good. And they gave this amazing animation, and it looks fucking phenomenal. And it blew up. It got, like, fucking hundreds of millions of views, and they're like, look, Nintendo, people want a fucking movie. And Nintendo's just like,
I think Nintendo made that Super Mario Brothers movie in the 90s and then said, hey, terrible, no, dude. Maybe we never should do this again.
That thing was so bad, dude. That was literally like a couple fucking hours away from being a goddamn porno, dude. That thing was so terrible. That thing was so bad, dude.
Confusing in how bad it is.
Oh my god! Did you ever watch the fucking what? Go ahead.
So they're finally getting back. There's like a Mario movie in development again, an animated one. So maybe we'll get the Zelda thing eventually.
Maybe that'd be nice. But did you ever watch the Legend of Zelda animated series, like the actual cartoon that came out?
I've seen a bit of it. I think I actually have a DVD of it somewhere.
Yeah. That shit is terrible. They take our hero Link, who never talks because Nintendo wants you to be immersed, like the player is Link. So they take our hero Link, who never talks, and turns him into just this womanizing jackass. Like, every time he talks, he just sounds like a sleazy fuck. And I'm like, man, dude, like, how do you do that? How do you ruin Link? Like, how do you do that? Who sat down there and was like, you know what? Link's gonna be a dick every episode. Like, how? How does that happen, dude? I was like, oh my god. Shit's the worst. Oh, man. It's crazy. I don't know. I was watching, I don't know if you've ever watched anything from the channel. They're fucking hilarious, but it's called Dorkly. You ever heard the Dorkly channel?
Yeah, I think they have webcomics, something I've seen probably.
Yeah, so they're not a thing anymore because they just couldn't get the funding to keep doing what they were doing. So now they're like part of like lowbrow comedy or some shit like that. And that's another YouTube channel. It's got a Patreon and all this other shit. But I love going back and watching like some of their skits because that's all their skits are. It's like basically comedy skits of older generation video games. And so that's like one of my favorites is like I think it was like main heroes just choosing the easy way through. And so, like, for instance, it starts off with, like, Sonic and Tails just, like, starts spinning his tails, grabs Sonic by his hands, and just flies him over the entire level to the very, very end. Then just drops him on the little capsule and pops the animals out, and then they just keep going. And Dr. Robotnik's like, I thought Sonic was supposed to be here at some fucking point. And so it gets to Link, and it's like, he gets all the way to Ganon, and Ganon's all like, or I can't remember. He says something, and all of a sudden he's like, "Wait, where's your sword?" And he's like, "What sword?" He's like, "Old man in the cave. It's dangerous. Don't go there. Don't go alone. Take this." And he's like, "Oh, that? Yeah, it just seemed unnecessary to carry that with me, so I just left it at the cave." And he's like, "How did you get here? You like slaughtered so many of my minions." He's like, "Yeah, I just punched them." And he's all like, "You punched them, and that was effective?" He's like, "Yeah, it was pretty effective. And if that didn't work, then I used my smash board." And he's like, "Smash board?" And he's like, "Yeah, this." He's like, "You mean the shield? That's for defense." And he's all like, "I mean, I was able to do this," and just starts beating the shit out of Ganon's leg and breaking his leg and shit. And Ganon's like screaming and shit and just keeps doing it till Ganon dies. And all of a sudden it shows the Triforce, and it's like, "You now have the Triforce of power." And he's all like, "Oh, great, more shit for me to hold on to." So he just throws it to the side, just keeps walking. And I was like, oh my god. Or the other one when they're all like, if games were actually real, and he goes in again and looks at him, he's like, "Ha ha ha, you will never stop me." And Link just chops his arm right off, and Ganon just starts screaming as he's bleeding out. And Link's like, "Huh." And he just keeps walking on. I was just like, Jesus, dude. Oh my god. They have a lot of funny ones. Another good Link one is they have this one series that's hilarious where it's video games to get the wrong power-ups. And so it shows like, and like I said, it's all the 8-bit shit. It's all the old school shit. So it shows like these 8-bit construction workers, and they're outside this warehouse, and they're like, "All right, the last truck's gone, boss." He's like, "All right, great." And all of a sudden someone runs out, and they're like, wait, that truck is going to the wrong place. All the power-ups are going to go to the wrong games. And he's like, "Nah, who's gonna notice?" And it shows Link, and he opens up a chest, and it's a fucking mushroom from Mario, and he eats it. So then it just shows gigantic 8-bit Link has Ganon in like a fucking chokehold and just beating the shit out of him. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, it was cracking me up, dude. Oh, it was so fucking funny. They got a lot of really, really good ones. Oh man, especially the ones where they do the Marios, and one of my favorites is it goes back to Baby Mario, and so it's like him, and like or I think that the title of the video is actually called Yoshi Hates Mario, and it shows like whenever he gets knocked off, he floats in the bubble, and he's just wah wah. Yeah, you played it. Yeah, it's super fucking annoying. Exactly. Yeah. So you got to kill all those enemies and then pop the bubble and get him back. And so like the whole time he's like, "Yes, kid, I get it. You want to get down? I'm working on it." And he's like taking care of all this shit. He's like, I'm almost there. And then finally he gets him down. He's like, "Oh my god, you owe me so much for this." And it's like 30 years later, and it shows Mario get to that one level, I think it's World 2 with the mushrooms, and it's that jump where you have to jump and then jump off of Yoshi and let Yoshi die so you can get over. And so he does that, and he's like, "Fuck you, Mario!" Because he like walks up to it, and he's like, "I don't think we're going to get past this one, buddy." And then Mario just makes him back up and then just takes off running. I was like, oh my god, dude. Oh, it's "fuck you, Mario." It's so great, dude. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they have some pretty fucking funny skits. I think one of their one of the best ones they have, which is crazy because like I said, I'm not a Pokemon fan, but it's if if the trainers in Pokemon were actually like smart, and so it's like fucking talking about the fact that like the whole quest of Pokemon is to fill your Pokedex. And so, like, they used Red, obviously, because that's the first one. And he just goes to, like, Professor Oak's laboratory, hooks up the Pokedex to the computer, and then goes to Google, and then just downloads all the fucking Pokemon directly onto his Pokedex. He's like, see, I win. I have them all. It's fucking hilarious, dude. I was like, oh, my God. And then it's like, then they talk about he's got to catch them all. So he's like, all right, we're going to do this. Because he has a Slifer. And I don't know why he chose Slifer. But instead of Pikachu, Slifer's like his best friend. So that's the Pokemon that stays out of the Pokeball all the time. And just follows him around. So they get on a fucking ship and they head out to the ocean. And then he grabs a fucking electric Pokemon. I can't remember what it was. But throws it into the fucking water. So then it shocks all the Pokemon in the ocean. So then he's just throwing Pokemon and our Pokeballs at all these fucking electrified Pokemon that are just sitting in the fucking ocean. And I was like, Jesus Christ. It's so fucking funny, dude. I love watching a lot of their skits. I mean, it sucks they're not a channel anymore, but man, dude.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of really, really funny ones. I know one that we laughed at really hardcore on Darkstar was they started introducing Waluigi, and they just made him this fucking creep. Because they do their own stories, too. Like, they have a series that's called, like, Sonic for Hire, I think is what that one's called. And so, yeah. And, like, they're doing this one thing where, I can't remember what the story of this episode was, but then, like, off in the distance, you see Wario and Waluigi, and they're, like, on this dark cloud, and it's all, like, lightning and shit, and then, like, you just hear Waluigi, and it's, like, he's got, like, a breathing problem, so he's just, like, and he does that for, like, a solid minute, and then he's like, Waluigi. It's just like, Jesus, dude. Oh my God, it's pretty great, dude. So they got a lot of funny shit. But anyways, we're getting close to the end of this podcast here. We should go ahead and start wrapping this bad boy up. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on those notifications that way you get notified next time we upload another video. Hit us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts and views on some of the things we went over. If you were big into, which card game were you the biggest fan of? Were you a Pokemon fan, a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, a Magic fan, or were you just a fan of all three? Which one are you still rocking to this day? Because let's face it, you're rocking at least one of them. You still got your cards, not necessarily participating in it, but you at least have your cards to one of them still at this point. So let us know which one. But at the end of all this, hope you guys have a great rest of the week. We'll see you next time.